it's time to set the record straight on the role of vaccines in reducing the spread of COVID-19. Vaccines do help, and they do so in two ways. First, they dramatically reduce the chances of being infected in the first place. Second, they substantially reduce your risk of spreading it to others if you are infected. So let's talk through a real-world example. This summer in California, an unvaccinated teacher brought COVID to the classroom. She infected 12 out of 24 unvaccinated students. So what would have happened had those students been vaccinated? Well, based on the most recent Pfizer trial in children aged 5 to 11, we saw only 1/10 as many infections amongst the vaccinated children. So we can estimate maybe we would have seen 1.2 children infected instead of 12. Let's say 2 versus 12 to be conservative. Now, what happens when those children bring COVID home to their households? Well, the unvaccinated children are actually more likely than their vaccinated counterparts to spread COVID to household members. While we don't yet have studies specifically in children, there are adult studies, and those have consistently shown about a 50% reduction in transmission when someone brings COVID home, depending on their vaccination status. So we have 12 kids who are very likely to spread COVID to household members versus 2 kids who are half as likely to spread COVID to their household members. That adds up to maybe 20 cases in one scenario over 2 generations and 3 in the other scenario. This difference becomes amplified in every generation. So when you look across society, an entirely vaccinated society and an entirely unvaccinated society are in an entirely different situation in terms of transmission. I just want to quickly touch on the reason this myth exists. There have been studies showing that unvaccinated people have a similar amount of viral genetic material in their nose compared to vaccinated people. But this is a very, very rough proxy of infectiousness. It's not a direct measure of infectiousness, and everybody knows that. It's just a number that's very easy to get. We can get into the gory details another time, but the bottom line is that is not a true measure of effectiveness, and what we really need to look at is actual studies in the real world. And we now have many of those studies, and they are consistently showing less transmission from breakthrough cases than from other cases. So vaccines are not bulletproof, but they definitely make a huge difference in transmission. They protect you and they protect your community. I hope this was helpful. Send any questions.